Welcome back to another CPI report. Boy, this is going to be a big one because this is the one that could finally reiterate a real downtrend. Okay, we've had plenty of these. We've had three. We've had three CPI misses to the downside. And all of a sudden, after so far two of them, we've had CPI misses to the upside after two downsides. The problem with that is you don't have a trend. When you don't have a trend, Jerome Powell says that's it. We got to keep raising. We had it happen in March. We thought March was the bottom of inflation. Not even close. We thought the summer was the bottom. Not even close. So, folks, here we sit again. Today is the 13th, the lucky number 13, December 13. We have CPI expectations today, year over year of 7.3 and month over month of month over month of 0.3. That would be annualized, multiplied by 12. You don't do exponents here. Multiply it by 12 for an annual, and what do you end up with? 3.6. So today we've also had this sort of outline by JP Morgan that if we ended up getting a number like 6.9, we could actually end up marking the bottom of the bear market. Now, I thought this was really interesting because we've looked at a few reports previously on the channel about how markets bottom out often in the year following a midterm election and in the year following when inflation peaks out. So if we got a big miss to the downside, both of those could end up being right. So, we are about 3 minutes away now from the actual release. And boy, oh boy, is it going to make some big differences. I would say we saw a lot of volatility actually going into today, which is also kind of interesting. Something we were talking about with course members just the other day is we were looking at volatility and we were noticing that volatility was actually generally relatively low going into CPI or Fed release days. But for some reason yesterday, it was different. You had volatility going in pretty strong into CPI. Now, upon a little bit of further research, it looks like the put volume yesterday was absolutely astronomical. Let me see if I can share that screen here. Yesterday, the put call ratio exploded. I thought this was very interesting. It really, to me, showed that there's some real nervousness about this second report. This second report being a big deal. And a lot of people are really prepping and hedging themselves for this report. Let's go ahead and share that screen, which is right here. Yeah, take a look at this. This is the put call ratio, and look on the right side. You could actually see this insane spike in the put call ratio. And then what I want you to pay attention to is look at the bottom. Look at the very bottom. What years do you see along this bottom where I am? This is not months, folks. This is like decades, periods of 5 years. And that put call ratio way over there is insanely high. So it's really interesting. We'll see. We'll see what that means. That's put call ratio means how many puts do you have over calls. So if you have 200 put contracts created versus 100, you have a ratio of 2, right? Whew. All right. Well, we are now officially within about 35 seconds of what could bring Santa to town or not. This is a pretty big deal because if this number comes in, honestly, if it just comes in at trend, it's going to be good. I'm hoping for a 7.4 and a 0.4, which is a good downtrend. It's a little bit higher than the estimate. Remember, 7.3 and 0.3 is what Wall Street thinks. I don't know if we're going to get a huge miss to the downside here. I don't think oil fell fast enough. Oh, man. Here we go. Probably within the next 10 seconds. Month over month, I'm going to read probably first. Oh, my gosh. 0.1. That's amazing. Holy shit. It's to the downside. It's amazing. What? 7.1. Let's go. Yes. Oh my gosh. This is huge. 7.1 year over year, 0.1 month over month. Excluding food and energy month over month, 0.2. Core CPI, food and energy year over year, 6. Real average hourly earnings year over year, negative 1.9. Real average weekly earnings year over year, negative 3.0. This is great. This is freaking awesome. Okay. Wow. Like I feel like I'm shaking. This is crazy. Wow. Okay, so again, CPI only up 0.1 on the month over month. That is amazing. I'm shocked. Okay, we were expecting 0.3. I did not believe that because we came up 0.4 last time. Let's see here. Okay, let's do this together here. Wow, this is very, very good. Over the last 12 months, all items in the index increased 7.1 before the seasonal adjustment. The index for shelter was by far the greatest contributor of all items of the increase. Okay, that's huge right there. That's huge because even Jerome Powell is telling us we know shelter is plummeting. Like he knows shelter is plummeting. So the fact that the largest contributor of all items was shelter is going to be music to Jerome Powell's ears that we could actually engineer some kind of landing. I don't really want to say soft landing because I feel like nobody feels soft here. Everybody feels like they've gotten hit pretty hard. Man, okay, this is great for pricing power. This is great for PP stocks. More than offsetting decreases in energy indices, the food index increased 0.5 month over the month, with food at home rising 0.5. That's 6% annualized. That's good. That's actually not as bad as it has been. Energy decreased 1.6. See, I didn't think it decreased enough to actually drag this down, but you had moves down in core as well once you strip food and energy. So over the month, as the gasoline index, electricity, and oil all declined. Fine. Index 4. All items less food and energy rose 0.2% in November after rising 0.3% in October. The shelter, communication, recreation, motor vehicle, insurance, education, and apparel were among those that increased. Really? Apparel increased over the month? Is this like a Black Friday thing or something here? Indices which declined in November include used cars and trucks, medical care, and airline fares. Whoa! Airline fares. I want to see that in detail here. This was the smallest 12-month increase since ending in December 2011. All items less food and energy rose 6% over the prior 12. Energy index increased 13.1% for the 12 months ending November. Yeah, we're still coming off pretty high numbers. Okay, seasonally adjusted changes from the prior month. So you're going to look at this column over here on the right. Here, let me align it in a way where this is going to be very easy for us. There we go. You're just going to look at the far right column. Used cars, 2.9 to the downside. Look at this. We're almost negative across the entire scope here. Negative 0.4, negative 0.1, negative 1.1, negative 2.4, negative 2.9. That's great. New vehicles, after a 0.4% increase last month, zero during the Black Friday sales. That's great. Medical care services, 0.2. Apparel, 0.2. Only 0.2s here. That's great. Oh my gosh, shelter actually moved down? No way. Look at that. This thing's been sitting at 0.7, 0.8, and everybody was expecting these suckers to stay at 0.7, 0.8. Remember, shelter makes up about 1/3 of the consumer price index. And I've said this many a time on this channel. Yeah, we extended the coupon code to tomorrow because I was busy not responding to emails at the New York Stock Exchange. My fault. So tomorrow, the 14th at 11:59 p.m., the PP coupon code will end. And boy, we're going to have a lot to talk about in today's course member live stream. But anyway, I've said this before, that CPI leads everything going down. CPI leads PPI going down. CPI leads jobs inflation going down. It leads everything to go down because businesses stop raising wages when their sales prices go down to the extent that they can, or their margins compress, right? Which means businesses have to eventually stop raising prices for business services, because when good prices go down, their customers have less of a capacity to pay for more expensive business services. So you get PPI going down. Logic tells you that and we've talked about this so many times in the cycle. Unemployment is like the last thing in a recession. Like once unemployment goes up, it's like you're already knee deep in the recession. Anyway, okay. This is crazy. Let me get to one of the more detailed charts here because I want to see some of the specifics here. All right, here we go. So actually, I would like to go even more detailed. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this is going to give us on the far right side, you're going to get the seasonally adjusted month over month, the far right side. All right. So what do we have over here? Apparel services, 0.1. I mean, these are some nominal numbers. Where are the big ones? Personal care services and haircuts up 1.4%. Personal services up 0.8. Still a little high here. Still a little high. We want to see that start coming down. What do we have? Telephone services, right? We keep seeing that services word. Still seeing high reads. I mean, last month we had 3.6% on postage. But look at the weighting, right? It's a low weighting. It makes up 0.08. Now it's only at 0.2. Okay, good. So you get some fluctuations here, not a trend. Oh, hey, where are those? Oh no, okay. I was gonna say, where are those AMC apes? Because I thought it said admission to movie theaters was up 7.5, but that's actually sporting events. Movie theaters are up 1.6. These are some pretty large fluctuations that we're getting here, and it just shows how intense inflationary issues have been. But here we go. Now we're getting a nice like row of negative. Look at this. Negative. Oh, I like that. Boy, I remember a year ago, I'm like, one day in the future, we're going to look at these CPI reports and it's just going to be negative. Health insurance with almost a 1% weighting here and down 4.3%. Car and truck rental, finally, thank the Lord, finally, minus 2.4%. Holy smokes. How long was car and truck rental a complete disaster? My goodness. This is really, really good. Moving, storage, freight, finally, minus 1.2%. This is great. Again, if you're just now joining, I can't believe this. We got 7.1 on the top. We got 0.1 on the month over month. I mean, nobody thought this was coming in at 0.1 on the month over month. This is great. We're going to look at Wall Street analysis in just a moment as well. Lodging away from home down 0.9%. Wow, really? So that's actually interesting. The owner's equivalent rent actually went up from 0.6 to 0.7, but that's kind of where it's been, right? 0.7, 0.8, 0.6, 0.7. But what dragged everything down was actually lodging away from home, including hotels and motels. I think Airbnb is going down. And now I don't think they're going bankrupt, but I think they're going to have some really tough quarters ahead. Now, they say that more people do like list Airbnbs in a recessionary time. But you know what my thesis here is? Listen to this thesis. I want to be very, very clear about this. Okay, this is my thesis, but I believe it. I believe more people are going to list homes on Airbnb, so more inventory, and less people are actually going to rent homes on Airbnb, so less demand. You're going in the opposite directions. Okay, more supply, less demand. Prices are going to plummet for Airbnbs. I think you're going to get a lot of people, and we're doing a lot of research on this for house hack purposes, right? We don't want to go buy a bunch of properties under the impression we can rent them out on Airbnb and then get effed. So we're not doing that. We are playing house hack is going to be the most conservative thing I ever do in my life. But it's all, I mean, come on, renting out real estate is like a slam dunk. Like you really have to suck to screw up. But the wedge deal model, boy, that's going to be great. Anyway, smartphones down 1.4%, but they've been plummeting for a while. That's already the trend. Computers plummeting, information technology, commodities plummeting. Okay, good. That's great. Toys, we're starting to see toys come down 1.4%. Phenomenal. Newspapers down 2.2. Mainstream media is deathly afraid of social media. I'll tell you that. Well, I learned that at the stock exchange. I'll tell you that's one of the big things I got reiterated. It reminded me of campaign days. Holy smokes. Anyway, other video equipment minus 3.1%. That was fun ringing the bell, by the way. I really hope Friday we could look back and go, that was the bottom. And this CPI helps that become a reality. Dang, yeah, that's great. Minus 2.9 on those used cars, trucks, great. Girls apparel, minus 2.2. All right, let's go a little faster here. I want to get to see what some of the Wall Street folks are saying. Okay, some household goods here. Major appliances actually up 0.6%. That's surprising, but laundry equipment plummeting. Window coverings. This is a volatile one, but down 1.4. Fine. We get the energy sectors here. Food I mean, coffee's up again. Instant coffee. Nobody cares about instant coffee. Only 0.2 on regular coffee. Okay, great. Instant coffee's nasty. I don't know. I mean, I get it. If you're in a bind, it's like, all right, I'll take the sack instant coffee and pour some hot water over it. But it's just nasty. All right. So what do I got here? We've got. Let's see here. Okay, better than expected CPI number gives the Fed the cover it needs to signal rate hikes will come to an end. Good. We have important piece of the story of rate hikes working. This is the first meaningful beat, right? Because it's now the second CPI beat in a row. That's good. And it follows the October PPI, which was great. November PPI was a little mixed, but it was still trending down. This is great. Okay, we talked about used cars and trucks. Yeah. Somebody else talks about this on Wall Street as well. They say, I'm surprised to see that apparel prices increased in November. I said the same thing too. I'm like, what? Is it Lulu? As expected, we got a big decrease in energy prices. Well, I mean, I thought it was going to decrease more because we had more. The bulk of the oil decreases were actually the first couple weeks of December. Okay. This should give Powell some confidence for tomorrow about maybe even signaling a further step down to 25 in February. Now, remember, after tomorrow's JPOW meeting, which I will be covering live, please come, 11 a.m. California time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, we will get the statement. We are obviously going to get a 50 basis point hike. If he came out and gave us anything lower, dude, he's just going to loosen financial conditions so much, it's going to be stupid. Do not plan on anything other than 50 tomorrow. But he could bring that same bullish Powie, Daddy Powie that we had, and he could bring that tomorrow again and start talking about 25. Start sweet talking us a little bit. Woo! Somebody here says, so you think we might have finally hit a bottom? Let me just put it this way: this is the first time we have a CPI trend plummeting. Okay, this is not only do we have the CPI trend to the downside, but it is trending below the trend. Like the expectation trend, right? Like both of the last reports were expected to be a trend down, but we've missed to the downside under both of those. I mean, that's great. So good. Okay, today's report is what the Fed officials want to see: a steady decline in inflation, matching trend, treasury yield slide. That's actually good for real estate, honestly. Like for a signal soon that buying the opportunity to buy real estate might actually come sooner if inflation plummets. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Hold on a second. You got to see this. For anybody paying attention, this is huge. Treasury yields down under 3.5, down 13 basis points. You don't want to know what I did with the money at House Hack. I put that all in treasuries, close to just about 4%. And it's like, now we're just ready to go shopping. It's so great. Meanwhile, we're just milking a high yield. It's so good. Oh, man. Woo! This is good. Okay, let's continue to see what Wall Street is saying. I'm really surprised that shelter and lodging went down. That really plays into the Airbnb thesis. That stuff's plummeting. Two year down 20 bips. Holy smokes. Oh man, this is so good. Let's see here. Okay, Fed risk asset rally undercuts the Fed tightening campaign. Look, okay, this is a fair statement. It's a fair statement for them to say if we end up having a stock rally, that Jerome Powell has to talk dirty to us again, that he has to talk us down. Okay, look, fair statement. Why do I actually think that's not true? Because of what he did in the last meeting. He did not have to feed us a rally in the last meeting. I told you this in the last meeting. And I'm not always right, but I noticed a change in Jerome Powell's demeanor in the last meeting which is the same change I noticed in the opposite direction in January for that December meeting, where I'm like, holy crap, this is so different from what we've been hearing. Remember in January, we got the minutes and it was like, oh my gosh, this is the report ever, worst report ever. If you want to see what panic in Kevin's eyes looked like, type into YouTube after this video, meet Kevin, worst report Federal Reserve. Look for the one that's like January 5, 2022. It's like 50 minutes long. You will see what bad U-turn looks like. I saw bullish U-turn from Jerome in the last one because I started seeing some panic, a sign that, oh man, we may have gone too far. I think that's what you're starting to see. And you've got economists that are saying the Fed only has to go slightly too far to really F things up. And they might already be at that level here. It's incredible. All right, what else do we have here? Powell noted at the end of November, he's looking for substantially more evidence. Yeah, well, here you go, buddy. One thing to watch for in the press conference tomorrow is how hawkish he is, especially with following a strong stock rally. Fine. I think Jerome doesn't want us to lose money if his goals are being met, right? As long as he's happy, it's okay for us to be happy because it's like, hey, look, let him be happy while everybody else not be miserable. That's okay. The problem is everybody's been miserable most of the year because CPI has been an S show, you know? It's been bad. It's been terrible. It's been terrible. Woo! Steve here in the chat says that Kevin is a clinical psychologist. Did I forget to mention licensed clinical psychologist? I'm just kidding. I'm not licensed but thank you. Holy crap, dude. Trade desk up 8%. Holy smokes. Did you know that's my second largest holding in a basket that shall go unmentioned? I'm not allowed to say certain things. No, it's actually my third. It's the third largest. It's third largest. I moved it up. That's great. Yeah, when it slid, I'm like, we're moving that sucker up. Woo! Holy smokes. Look at these numbers here. These are like Affirm and Redfin moving 8%, Cloudflare 8%, Trade Desk 8.3%. That's freaking awesome. Tesla's like 5%. Elon's really got a shot. Let me ask you this, okay? Okay, like I gotta know this. Yesterday, I made a video, and a lot of people got pissed off at me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Elon's just speaking the truth. He's just telling it like it is, Kevin." Let me ask you this, okay? And I'm gonna run a poll on this, and then we're gonna go back to what Wall Street is saying about CPI. But I want to run a poll about this. I want to know what you think, okay? If Elon Musk bankrupts Twitter because all the advertisers run away, does he hurt free speech or help free speech? Okay, that's the question. If Elon Musk bankrupts Twitter, does free speech get hurt? Okay, that's the question. And start a poll. And then we're going to go back to what Wall Street. Yes, free speech suffers. No, free speech is fine. All right. So because I'm a big fan of always thinking like the next step, right? People are bitching at me saying, Kevin, you shouldn't tell Elon Musk to shut the F up because it's free speech, man. I'm like, look, let everyone else have their free speech. But when you go cheer free speech and you start saying like things that are borderline conspiratorial, you piss off advertisers. They leave. Twitter goes bankrupt. Now you actually hurt free speech for millions of people rather than being selfish about your own opinions. It's like, true or not, it's not your place to be bitching so much to where advertisers are going to leave. My take, I'm very curious, though, to see what the poll is. Anyway, all right, while that goes on, let me go to, let me see, Wall Street. Okay, the 0.2% month-over-month CPI reading was lower than all but 2 of the 67 estimates in the Bloomberg survey. Holy smokes. 67 estimates, and only 2 were at 0.2. Everyone else was higher. That's really incredible. The second straight month of downside surprises on CPI vindicates the bond market rally. Yeah. No, this This is freaking awesome. It was an honor to be on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange this Friday and actually yesterday, because I got to see CNBC filming. It was really cool. Let's listen in over here for a moment.
Three of us.
It is 9.
That is 9.
It is a 9.
Quick reminder, Neela Richardson will join the CNBC Small Business Playbook Virtual Summit tomorrow.
I don't care. I want to hear about CPI. Or is it the CPI? I don't know. Today, I think it's CPI. When it's going up, it's the CPI.
They're slowing the pace of hiring. The event is free. Scan the QR code on your screen to register.
Let's get down to the New York Stock Exchange and check in with Jim Cramer. Jim, your thoughts on this number, what it means for stocks, what it means from the Fed?
Well, I think that not much wages here, but almost everything that fell is going to continue to fall. A lot of things that are in stasis or about equilibrium are about to fall. There isn't anything in here that indicates that something is too low, except for maybe airline fares, which fell 3. I think that could go up. But I mean,
so you're talking
everything's
inflation
going
numbers, not stocks.
Yeah, everything's going the Fed's way in these. And, I look at the individual companies. I know that food prices are going to come down. I know that energy prices are going to keep coming down. I know that the supply chains for the home builders are now in pretty good shape. I know the supply chains for the auto companies are.
Ooh, look at Master Failure with the $9.99 donation and a really good opinion. There have been some good opinions here, okay? Some of y'all have had actually really interesting opinions. Some of you, suggesting, look, Elon, like, free speech isn't going to go away anyway. Twitter's not going to go away anyway. These are great. But look at this one. Is Elon intentionally turning himself into basically an opinion anchor so he could escape the CEO role and keep people loving Tesla? Smart. It's the exit. Oh, damn. You just took it next level. That's good. I like that opinion. And I agree there is a potential.
I don't like to look through it because I deal with all the companies that are making this stuff, and they're not putting through price increases anymore. That's over. If anything, they're going to have price decreases because of outfits like Costco. They'll say, you're charging too much, and we're rolling things back. So, I mean, fruits and vegetables is higher because there's a cartel that keeps those up, and the government has to investigate that. But most these things are really good. And again, remember, I'm coming in from the company side. I don't care about these numbers. These numbers verify what the companies are telling me.
If you're coming at it from the company side, if costs are coming down, does that mean the earnings recession that so many people have been predicting doesn't come to pass this next earnings quarter?
Well, I think that you're in this weird moment right now where the costs are coming down to the consumer very slightly, but they're coming down big to the producer. So you'll still see some very good numbers. I'm not sure, but I think crude is trying to put in a bottom. But I don't think you're going to see a big increase by any means in gasoline. So there's just a lot of things that are in this that have been in the works, and they're finally coming to fruition. Housing, not yet. And like I said, wages, you need to see more layoffs.
Lodging, though, man, that was good.
Because they don't have the wage thing under control yet. But they'll get that under control because a lot of companies want to see their stocks higher, and they know that the way to get their stocks higher is to fire people.
Yeah. Jim, thank you for the deep analysis. We're going to see.
That's such a terrible line. Oh, my gosh. If anybody wanted Jim Cramer hated, you clip that right there. I mean, he's not wrong with what he's saying. Companies want their stocks higher. How do you get the stocks higher? You fire people. It's not wrong. You look at the firing that's even happened at almost any time you get a firing announced, stock goes up. It's remarkable. Almost every single time. Anyway, this is a glorious report, folks. We are not at 6.9, right? Remember, JP Morgan told us that 6.9 on this read. Not that honestly, part of me. Okay, let me put it this way. About JP Morgan, okay? I met this guy in Texas yesterday, in this tiny airport in Texas, in like the middle of nowhere. Like, you go to land there, there's no light there. Like, you call for a refuel and you wait 15 minutes. Like, that's the airport, okay? And this guy, he looks at me and goes, Kevin, I hate JP Morgan. I'm suing him for $50 million. And he's like, still got the Texas accent and everything. And I'm like, I support you, because I've been pissed at JP Morgan about a lot of things this year. They've screwed up quite a few times for me. I like the people that work there. I will say that. The people that work there are great. But some of the systems have just put me in some really, doinky situations this year, and it's been very frustrating. I'll give you an example. I needed to close out some options trades, and they put some kind of weird like trade hold on, and it took like an extra 36 hours to close the trades. Cost me 125 grand. I'm like, you scumbags. Again, not upset about the people, but the system. I don't know why I'm going on a JP Morgan rant. Anyway, so 7.1, really great. We've looked at this before. We're not going to reread this whole thing, but I want to really highlight a couple things here. When we go into this detailed section here, I want to take another look at some of the important ones. A lot of these food sectors coming down. We're seeing so much more negative. The energy weights here to the downside were not as big as what I think we're going to see next month. You see these all here on the right. These are all like 2%, 1.9%. Big deal. Here, let's hop on over to CNBC for a moment and just look at oil, because I think we've had most of the we've ticked up again $4 or so on Brent here. So we've had a little tick up again. Well, let me see here. Yeah. Here you go. All right. So where's November? Okay. So right there, look at that. You see where the little yellow thing here is? That's peak oil last day of November. As soon as you got into December, that thing starts plummeting. Now it started ticking up again a little bit. But after November, this is you. You're in this hole. Imagine what CPI is going to look like next month if we even just stay under 80. I mean, we're in a hole. This is freaking amazing. This is really, really good. Okay, somebody here with the name WTH 2021 says, effing insanity how it is that you people cheerlead a 7.1% inflation rate. It's absolutely insane. What's insane is that you have clearly not heard that there's something called a trend. We are cheering an inflection and a continuation to the downside and a further inflection to the downside of a trend in something that's hellishly painful for people. If you think we're actually cheering that yay, prices went up 7.1%, I have a beach to sell you in the desert. All right, what else? Let's look over here. How are things holding up on? Let's look at the actual sticks here. Oh, the Dixie. Yeah, we'll look at that too. Okay, so QQQ, nice surge to 300. Oh my gosh. We surged to 300. We pulled back a little bit and we moved to about 296 now. Okay, this is not I don't believe this is going to be accurate. Don't buy in pre-market or after hours, please. I think I've said that a million times, but I mean to say it again here. Tesla's relaxed a little bit, 4.9, 7.6. Okay, end phase 4 is still at 320. This is such a crazy performer. You've got Occidental actually had a little run, but rotated back here a bit. Okay. Coinbase 7%, SoFi 5%. I mean, there's really nothing to the downside here. This is really incredible. It's pretty much everything's just green, with the exception of the short real estate fund, the DRV. Yeah. When yields fall, the expectation is that there will become a floor under real estate prices falling. People who are angry with low CPI are the losers afraid of missing the dip. There are definitely going to be people who are afraid of missing the dip. That's true. Oh, yeah, DXY. Let's look at that. Let's look at the dollar. Look, without looking, my assumption is it's going to go down because yields are going down. And when yields go down, when yields go down, you reiterate that the dollar is less valuable. So I'm short the dollar. I'm a big fan of being short the dollar right now. I've actually been short the dollar since the summer. I did think there was probably about a risk that we had another 10 to 12% downside since the summer. That's roughly what we ended up getting. I want to say it was somewhere around, it was like end of July, something like that. Somewhere over here, I went short the dollar. Still, unfortunately, had a good about that 10% movement here, right? is somewhere around here, 105 to about 115. That's about that 10% downside where the dollar still rallied about. That's downside to a short is upside to the dollar, right? It still rallied about 10%. That's right along the expectation. But I expected that even we would go below where I started shorting here. And that's what we're doing now. And I've added to that short position. So yeah, no, the more yields fall, the more this I think trends down. This is okay. So I actually did a lot of TA on this. Gosh, I don't have my iPad out right now, but one of the incredible things that you could do is you look at some of the week. You put this on weekly or monthly, the dollar, and when you put this on weekly or monthly, it's so clear how when you get these like volatile spikes, it comes down. Now, the dollar has trended up for the long term. It's gotten very strong, but I do think there is probably a 30% potential short. That's just my take right now. We did a long course member live stream on it with all the research and stuff. Speaking of which, we'll be doing a course member live stream soon. I'll send out the notification for that. Remember, you get lifetime access if you use coupon code PP. We've extended that till tomorrow night because our schedule was so screwed. We couldn't get back to people emailing us for bundles. If you email Kevin@meetkevin.com, we can do custom bundles for you. Yeah, David Cox, I don't know what an Elon Goat monument is. I like that. I don't get it. And I also don't know how to contact you. Like, I don't know, send me a DM or something on Twitter or Instagram. All right. I'll look later and I'll look for goat. All right. Well, look, this is phenomenal. Good CPI miss to the downside. I'm very happy for everyone. I wish everyone the best. This is great. Have a wonderful day. Please make sure to subscribe. Come back for opinions and analysis here. I do my best to give you as much research as possible on this channel. That's all I do all day long. And now I've got in January, I've got researchers starting as well to help me just provide the best value possible. I believe in a bear market. Even when times are tough and it's easy to be gloomy, it's easy to be sad. The best thing that you personally could do is hold your head up, put one foot in front of the other, and just keep going. It's hard. It's hard. Just keep going. Keep doing your thing, and don't give up. It's the most important. All right. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Good luck.